So let us start learning about this multi-threading concept. Now, what actually multi-threading is, why we need to have this multi-threading, and how it is supported in Java. All these things we are going to learn in detail. Okay. So instead of going to learn directly about this threading concept, what we'll do is we need to learn some introduction about what actually, how the program execution flow will be, what are all the different ways we have, and then we'll see the advantage of both and disadvantages of those things, and then we'll switch to the thread concept, and then we'll learn about this multi-thread. Right, all of you? Okay. So whenever we are going to do any task, say as of now, you all know, we have a CPU in our system, and that CPU will be taking care of executing your things, isn't it, or not? Taking or performing the task, whatever you are going to tell. Now, the CPU can perform your task in two ways. We have two approaches to perform a task. Okay. So the first way is, your, sorry. First way is your sequential way. Okay. And the second way is your parallel way. Like you can execute the things in a parallel fashion also. Or what can we say is, like, executing the things can be done in a sequential fashion, or you can execute the things in parallel fashion. What do you mean by executing the thing in sequential fashion? Executing the things in sequential fashion is nothing but you are going to execute only a single task. Like until and unless you perform a single task, it will not allow you to do the other thing. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Executing the thing in a sequential fashion is nothing but you are performing single task. Like, suppose if you have two tasks, then until and unless first task is finished, the second task is not performed. That is nothing but, in turn we can say, like, second task has to wait until first task finish its execution. Are you following, all of you, what I'm telling? Follow carefully these things. Okay, what do you mean by the sequential execution? Sequential execution is nothing but we will be having at one time only single task will be executed. It is nothing but, suppose, and as an example, if you have two tasks, then until and unless task one is performed, the CPU will not be given a chance to execute the second task. Okay, all of you, is that clear? Now, what do you mean by parallel task? What do you mean by a parallel execution? Parallel task is nothing but you are going to do concurrent execution. Okay. It is also called as multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? Executing more than one thing. Multitasking is nothing but you are executing more than one task. Whereas in a sequential thing, you are executing a single task only. But whereas coming to a parallel execution, it is nothing but you are doing multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? You are executing to more than one. This is also called as concurrent execution. Okay, this is also called as concurrent execution. What do you mean by concurrent execution? Like if you have more than one task, then it is not required for the second task to wait until the first task is done. It is nothing but, if you have two tasks, second task need not wait for the completion of first task. Observe the difference, all of you. What you are understanding, all of you? What is the difference here? Here in sequential execution, if you have two tasks, until and unless first task finishes its execution, the second task is not going to start. But whereas coming to the parallel, where it is nothing but multitasking, if you have two tasks, it is not required for the second task to wait until the first task is completed. What is the problem with sequential tasking here is, suppose if there is a problem with the first task, I'm talking about sequential, where we have single task. Suppose if there is a problem with the first task and it could not finish the execution of that program. So as the first task could not finish the execution, the second task will never get the chance for execution. Are you understanding? So the second task he will be throughout his lifetime, he will be in the waiting time only. Right? So second task will not be getting a chance if there is a problem in the first task execution. But whereas coming to the parallel, that is nothing but concurrent execution, if there is a problem in the first task execution, then immediately the processor will will be given execution for your second task. Are you understanding? So if there is a problem in the first task, the second task will be immediately giving the chance. Okay, but here you may be getting a doubt like, don't think like multitasking is nothing but parallelly, like simultaneously two tasks will be execution. That is not the case. Observe carefully. We have only one CPU in our system, isn't it or not? And that CPU can perform only one task at one time. That is the thing. But what is the parallel or concurrent execution is nothing but here the processor can switch between the tasks. Processor or your CPU, whatever you can, the processor can switch between the tasks. It is nothing but, I told you, no, here in sequential tasks, until and unless the first task finishes the execution, the processor will not be given a chance to execute the second task. So sequential at one time in both the cases, the CPU will be doing one task at one time only. But here in sequential execution, until and unless the first task performs its execution, until and unless it has been completely done, the first task, that the option is not given to the second task. But whereas coming to the parallel, that is something but concurrent execution, the processor, whatever CPU you have, can switch between the tasks. That is nothing but if you have 4 tasks, then first, if you set some time, then let us consider 5 minutes of time, then CPU can be executing first task for 5 minutes, second task for 5 minutes, third task for 5 minutes, and fourth task for 5 minutes. Understood, all of you? Such an approach is possible. Such a thing is possible by using your multitasking. That's why we are saying that one as multitasking. And the switching between the task will be in a fraction of time, that the processor will take fraction of time to switch between the processor, so that we as a human being will be feeling like all the tasks are performed simultaneously. One simple example I'll tell you: Windows operating system, you are performing multitasking, where you could write one program, like you are doing one program, and you are listening to music from one side, and you are browsing the internet also. These 3 tasks you are performing simultaneously. But remember, in your system you have only a single processor, and that processor has to take care of all these three things. How it is going to take? It is switching to the processors. With you are writing a program is one process, okay, listening to the music is another process, and browsing the internet is another process. All these 3 things are simultaneously done by the processor. How the processor is switching between the tasks, and the time lapse between the switching, we can't identify. It will be like microseconds like that. So as a human being, we will be thinking like all are performing simultaneously. Understood? But don't have an option. Don't think like we will be have, as we have 2 tasks, we'll have 2 CPUs. That is not the case. We will be having a single CPU only, but the switching between the tasks will be done by the processor. That's why we will have an option of executing or multitasking or concurrent execution. I hope you all are understanding what I'm saying here. So what is the problem with the sequential execution? If there is a problem with the first task, the option will not, that there it will halt. It will try on doing the same thing. I'll take one simple example, one real-time example of this one. What is the real-time example is? Follow carefully, all of you. Listen carefully. You are writing an online examination. Let us consider an online examination where you need to select, it is like a multiple choice options, okay? And suppose the examination pattern is like sequential approach, let us consider. Then what happens if you are using a sequential approach? Then here, until and unless, let us consider, until and unless you you submit the first question answer, you are not supposed to go to the second question. And once you go to the second question, you are not allowed to write the first question. Like you are not allowed to see the first question. Follow carefully what I'm doing. What I'm saying, there is an option. Here you have a question 1. Okay. And something is there in your question. Okay. So in this question, you need to solve this question and you need to choose the correct option of A, B, C, D. And then finally, you need to perform the submit button. You need to have a submit button. And once you click the submit button, then you will be redirected to another page where you will be having the second question. That means sequentially, you are going to perform the task, one task after the another task. Remember, if you are taking much time, suppose you have 10 questions, 10 questions in your exam, and if you are taking lot of time in doing the first question, you may not be getting a chance to move to the second question, isn't it or not? Or else you may not be successfully submitting all the 10 questions, right? So sequential execution is nothing but until and unless one task is done, you are not allowed to move to the second task, right? Whereas coming to the parallel, follow carefully what you need to be parallel. In parallel, the same online pattern can be designed in another way where you will have an option of choosing which question you want to do. I think you might have seen this one where you will have a panel on the left hand side or right hand side where there are buttons. There will be buttons showing like which question you want to write. First question or second question. You can move in between the questions. Suppose if you have 10 questions, right? So you can choose the option. If you choose second one, if you are not, if you are feeling like it is a difficult thing, you can move to the next question, or you can do browse the third question. So you have such an option. You will have a panel like this, where in this panel, you can select the questions. That means parallelly, you are going to select one task at one time, whatever you want. So it is not like you are wasting the time. Are you understanding? Suppose here in sequential tasking or single tasking, what happens is until and unless you solve the first problem, you are not allowed to move the second problem. But here, if you are feeling the first problem is difficult, you can directly select the second one and see the second question, and you are effectively utilizing your time to solve the problem. So here, the number of questions attempted by the user will be more when compared to the sequential. I understand this is a simple example which is considered as a real-time example, which shows about what is the problem with the sequential and what is the advantage of parallel execution, which is called as multitasking. I'm talking about multitasking. I hope you all are clear with this concept. Understood, all of you? Yeah. Now, what we'll see is now we will be moving to a concept called as multitasking, because we have observed the advantage of having the multitasking. So we are going to learn in detail about this multitasking. I hope you all are clear why we are shifting to the multitasking, because we are going to effectively utilize our time. We are going to effectively utilize our processor. See here in sequential, what happens if there is a problem in the first task, the processor will be idle and it will not be given a chance to the second thing. Why? Because the first is not yet done. But whereas coming to the multitasking, we are effectively utilizing our processor. Why? Because if there is a problem with one task, we can immediately switch our processor to the another task where the processor can do the another thing. Remember, in anything, we have to write our things where we have to effectively utilize our processor. We should not keep our processor idle. Processor time should not be wasted. So how much effectively you use the processor, that much effectively your work will be done. Are you understanding? So that's why you should not keep your processor idle. And if you are going with sequential, there may be a chance that the processor will be idle. So to effectively utilize your process, we need to perform multitasking approach. Then how to do this multitasking and all, we are going to learn now. Okay, so keep your adding all of you multitasking. We are not learning, as of now, we have not started multi-threading. Multitasking, all of you understand what is this, okay? Multitasking. Now, what is this multitasking? Multitasking is nothing but performing more than one task at one time, okay? And remember one single terminology, all of you. If process is nothing but a program under execution. Whenever you are performing a single process, okay, a process is nothing but a program under execution. Now, whenever you are saying about multitasking, multitasking can be done in two ways. Note down all of you, what are the two ways? Multitasking can be done in two ways. First way is process based, and second way is thread based. You need to carefully follow these things. Once you're clear with this one, then you can clearly understand this multi-threading. Okay, multitasking, that means doing more than at one time, is of two types. What are they? Process based and thread based. What do you mean by process based? Process based is nothing but, normally process is defined as, process is nothing but program under execution. Whenever you're executing any program, that is referred as a process. Okay, program under execution is nothing but process. Now, what is this process based? Is nothing but, in this process based, each task will be given a separate program. Okay, each task is written as a separate program. What do you mean by that one? Suppose if you want to perform arithmetic operations. Arithmetic operations are nothing but, you will be having addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, isn't it or not? Now, each task, that means you have addition task, multiplication task, subtraction task, and division task. They will be considered as separate tasks. That is nothing but, you see here. Let us consider, you have addition. We'll see, let us take, this is one task, addition task. This is one program. Multiplication, another program. Okay. And then subtraction, and then division. So we have four tasks. Each task will be considered as a separate program. So this one is, let us consider, this one is your add program. And let us consider this one is your subtraction program. And let us consider this one is your multiplication program. And let us consider this is your division program. Now, what do you need to understand here is, in process based, each task like addition task, subtraction task, multiplication task, and division task, they will be written as a separate program. So this will be one program, this will be one program, and this will be one program, and this is one program. Understood all of you? But whereas coming to the thread based, what happens is, here you will be taking only a single program. Only a single program is written here, and in that single program, whatever you are going, what are all the tasks you want to write, they will be considered as modules in that program. Here you have four programs, here you have single program. In that single program only, you will be having the modules. Okay, in that single program, you will be having modules. Like this is one module, this is the second module. Okay, we'll have one more module. We'll have one more module. And one more module. Same module like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, whatever we have here, that will be considered as four modules. Now, what you can see here, so this will be treated as your add, this will be your subtraction, this will be your multiplication. Okay, follow carefully all of you. Multiplication, and this will be your division. Understood all of you what I'm saying? Here in process based, each task is given as a separate program. That means we can say here we have how many programs? We have four programs in this case. But in this case, how many programs we have? One program only. Okay. And we have that one program have four modules. That is called as thread based. This is called as process based. Okay, that is nothing but, we can say whatever module you are saying, that module is referred as a thread. That means we can say four threads. So can we define a thread as thread is a part of a process? Can we define like that? So thread is defined as of process. Right, all of you? Understood? Understood, all of you? What is process based and thread based? In process based, each program, for each task, one program is written. And for LLS consider you want to have to perform 4 tasks, we need to write 4 programs. But whereas coming to thread based, we'll be writing only one program. Okay, we'll be writing only one program, and that program will be having 4 modules. Module is nothing but one thread. One module is nothing but one thread. So we can define thread is nothing but as a part of process. Now, what is the advantage of what is the disadvantage of having 4 programs, and what is the advantage of having only one program? I'll tell you. Remember, whenever you are writing one program, what happens is one memory will be allocated. Memory will be allocated. So what happens? Separate memory will be allocated for separate program. So for this one memory will be allocated. Okay. For this one memory will be allocated. For this one memory will be allocated, and for this also one memory will be allocated. Are you understanding? I am talking about the memory. So this for this one memory allocated, and that will be storing the add information. For the one memory will be allocated, that will be storing the subtraction, multiplication. Similarly for multiplication and division. So 4 programs, 4 separate memories will be allocated. But whereas coming to thread, as we have only one program, only one memory will be allocated, and that memory will be shared by all these threads. All these threads will be sharing this memory. So what we can say, the memory has been effectively utilized or not? Are you understanding? The memory has been effectively utilized or not? So here what happens is all the modules are running parallelly only here. What happens? It will, let us consider the processor is executing this add, and there is a problem with this as somewhere it is add, then it can directly switch to subtract. So all the modules will be run parallelly only here, and all the modules are sharing the memory what is allocated for that one program. Okay, are you following? So as they are sharing the memory here, this thread-based multitasking is referred as lightweight process. Okay, this is called as lightweight process. Okay, as all the modules, like all the threads are sharing the memory, that's why a name is given to the thread base, which is called as lightweight processing. But whereas coming to process based, each task or each program is given a separate thing. So that's why these are referred as heavyweight process. Okay. Understood all of you what I'm saying? This is called as lightweight processing, and this is called as heavyweight processing. In this, memory will be shared by all the threads, and here the memory will be shared by, not shared, a separate memory will be given by separate process. I hope you all are clear with this one. Okay, remember here also all the programs will be run parallelly only. Here also all the modules will be run parallelly only. That's why it is called as a multitasking. But even if it is called as a multitasking, we have an additional advantage if you are writing a single program with multiple threads. Why? Because the memory will be effectively utilized. So we need to move further where we have to write some threads in our program, and we need to implement the thread concept in our Java programming concept. Right, all of you? So we will be now concentrating on how threads to be created. Okay, so our concentration is main on this thread based now, where we are going to learn how a thread can be created, and how a thread can be created and how it can be executed. Okay, now before going to learn that one, I will give you a real-time example of what actually a thread based is. Okay, I think you all have worked with your MS Office Word document, right? So in your MS Office Word document, that complete, whenever you have opened one Word document, that is called as one program. In that program, you will have multiple threads. What type of threads? One thread is you are typing, whatever you are typing, that should be displayed on that screen. That is one thread. And auto correct feature will be there. Auto correct is nothing but instead of typing THE, you might have typed HTE, and when you press space button, that will be auto corrected THE. Are you understanding, all of you? So that is second thread. Okay, and third thread is nothing but auto save. I'll highlight here. Thread based is nothing but you have an example of MS Word, you can see. There you'll have threads. First thread is typing the text. Okay. Second text is auto correct. What do you mean by autocorrect? If you type something wrongly, it will be automatically corrected. Some words will be automatically corrected. And then auto save. Okay, so all these three, all the above three are referred as your threads. So MS Word is nothing but one process. You are going to do one process which is divided into threads, which are done parallel. Isn't it or not? So this is an example of your thread-based approach. Now we are going to implement this thread-based approach in our Java programming language. Right? So I hope you all are clear with this introduction part of our what is multitasking, what is the difference between single tasking and multitasking, and in turn coming to multitasking, what is nothing but process based and what is nothing but thread based. Is this clear to you all? So in the next class, we'll see how the thread-based approach can be implemented in our Java. What are all the steps we need to follow and how it can be executed and all. We'll see those steps, and we'll also see a simple example of running the Java program also. Okay.